we got nothing but Visions. Visions Season 2. Alright, so literally, you take two of my greatest interests, two of my greatest loves. You got Star Wars, and you got anime. You put them together, and you got Star Wars anime. You literally have Visions, and I am such a fan of the first season of Visions. It really was different from what I was expecting, and I'm sorry, but to me, it's all canon. Yeah, I know. Visions is actually not canon, but what I really like about Visions is just the different art styles it takes. Now, granted, not all of Visions, some of Visions was really excellent. So, others, well, the story was kind of like, okay, but something that I really found interesting about was just little adventures taking place within the Star Wars universe. Not canon. We don't have to worry about sticking to the canon verse of Star Wars. No, we could actually just tell a complete, interesting one-off story that just kind of celebrates what Star Wars is at the same time. Celebrates the magnificent, the amazing art that comes out of Japan. Japanese animation, I'm a huge fan of Japanese animation. I'm really into Naruto, My Hero Academia, I used to be into. Black Clover, I can't wait for the new season of that to come out, especially the movie on Netflix. And there's so many anime that I really like. Steins Gate, another great anime. So, literally, we are taking the best studios of Japan, and giving them a chance to tell their story within the Star Wars universe. And it is absolutely fantastic, interesting, and I have to say this, the animation blew me out of the water when it came to the first season. So, now we get to Season 2. And that is going to be what this video. I literally reviewed every single episode in Season 1, and I am going to review every single episode in Season 2 as well, because I am that much of a Star Wars and anime fan. Let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So here we are with the next episode, and it's called Journey to the Dark Head. When I heard that title, I couldn't figure out what they meant by it, so I just watched the episode. Okay, let me say this. This episode, really good. Definitely hit the Star Wars feel. So, it starts out with this girl, and she, actually, I can't really figure out what she is. She's like what is it called? Temple. What? I've done way too many of these today. The temple. Dang it! What is it called? Dang it! What is it called? It's called something. And I might have to go watch the episode again just to figure out what the first was. I seriously just watched it and I can't figure out what it's called. What the heck is wrong? Oh, okay, this whole thing is being cut out of the video. Boy. Okay, so we have this girl, and she's like a fortune teller. She uses the Force to see visions of either the future or the past, and she lives on this really interesting planet. When it rains, it hits these rocks, and vision. They're able to see basically visions in these rocks of either the future or the past. And her people actually record the future and the past. And all they are meant to do is record the future and the past. They are not supposed to interfere with the future or the past. Huh. You know what? Now that I really think about it, did we just step into the Marvel universe? Because it really sounds like these guys are just the Watchers from the Marvel universe. Yeah, that's what they are. Well, just like we have our boy the Watcher from the Marvel universe, she decides, you know what? She wants to interfere. She wants to stop this war. She wants to stop the war between light and the dark. So she requests some Jedi assistance. And then we meet this young Jedi, and he's actually really interesting. He's got an interesting past. We see a flashback of him and his master, and his master was cut down by a Sith. And ever since then, he has had fear and anger. He reminds me of a very Anakin-like character in the beginning, and something that I really liked about it is this episode. It's about him finding the inner peace and everything. So he goes on the mission with her. She's kind of a mechanic, and she really can't fly, but she uses AI to fly the ship, and they have some good banter. Like, I could see this being the start of a really interesting series. Like, that's the thing, you know, these are just short one-offs, but some of these short one-offs could actually make some really interesting full-out series, and I think this one could really do it. Yeah, and it's really interesting with him being a Jedi. She wants to blow up the statue's head, because if she blows up the statue's head, the statue that apparently controls the dark side of the Force, if she blows up the statue's head and stops the stones from getting visions, she thinks she can turn the tide of... I know it just sounds weird, but she thinks by blowing up a statue's head, she can turn the tide of war to be peace. And that is it, right? Because the good side wins, the dark side loses. But I like the whole lesson at the end that, yeah, dark and light, they go together. You can't have one without the other. It's really interesting. And yes, while there will always be dark and light, and there will always be the war, there is always hope, you know? The good side, the Jedi exists, there is always hope. I enjoyed that whole lesson. And then we have the Sith. The Sith, he actually sees the little boy Jedi, and he's like, oh, you know what? He's around. Haven't seen him in a while. I want to turn him into a Sith. I want him to be my princess. So he goes after them, and the two fight. And she remembers her vision. She remembers seeing some guy being fought with some other dude. But there was a third one in the middle. Now, who was that third one in the middle that she saw in her vision? It actually turns out to be her, and she actually saves him. And I liked the whole episode with him really, and I thought this was gonna go a lot darker. I thought this was gonna go the route of him actually becoming a Sith or something like that. And don't get me wrong, he does kill the Sith and everything, but he has just like this moment of peace. He lets go of his fear and anger, and he becomes a true Jedi. And I really liked his character at the end of the day. Really great episode. I would give this episode 9 out of 10. Oh, and the music and the animation, amazing as always. I would watch a whole series with this type of animation, definitely. It looks fantastic. It really does. Well, that is my thoughts of Return no, Journey to the Dark Head. What do you guys think about this episode? Now, I feel like for a lot of people, this episode is probably going to be their favorite episode because it's an actual Jedi. But to be honest with you, maybe it's because I'm just so used to Star Wars. And granted, I haven't seen every episode yet, but so far my favorite episode probably would have been episode 2, Screech's Reach. We'll see. I'm eventually going to also do, at the end of this, I'm going to do like a video ranking all episodes of both season 1 and season 2 and really see which one was my favorite episode. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a future video. But with that said, that was episode 5. And I am about to go watch episode 6. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.